Have you ever looked at a map of the Middle East and wondered why so many conflicts seem interconnected? From the war in Yemen to the political turmoil in Lebanon, from Syria's civil war to the instability in Iraq, there often seems to be a common thread. That thread is the intense and long-standing rivalry between two regional superpowers, Saudi Arabia and Iran. This isn't a traditional war with soldiers marching across borders. Instead, it's a complex, shadowy conflict often called a regional Cold War, fought through proxies, politics, and economics, and it shapes the destiny of millions. So, how did we get here? To understand this rivalry, we need to go back to 1979, a year that completely redrew the political map of the Middle East. This was the year of the Iranian Revolution. The US-backed Shah of Iran was overthrown and replaced by an Islamic Republic led by Ayatollah Khomeini. This new government was fiercely anti-Western and, crucially, it was founded on a revolutionary Shia ideology. This sent shockwaves across the region, especially in Saudi Arabia. The Saudi royal family are the custodians of Islam's two holiest sites, Mecca and Medina, and their legitimacy is deeply tied to their leadership of the Sunni Muslim world. Suddenly, they were facing a new, charismatic, and revolutionary Shia power in Iran that was openly calling for the export of its revolution. Iran challenged Saudi Arabia's religious authority and its political model of a hereditary monarchy allied with the West. This set the stage for a fundamental clash, a Sunni monarchy versus a Shia revolutionary republic. It became a battle for influence, for religious legitimacy, and for leadership of the entire Muslim world. This rivalry isn't just about religion, though. It's also about geopolitics and power. Both nations are major oil producers and see themselves as the rightful dominant power in the Persian Gulf. They compete for control over strategic waterways, trade routes, and political influence. In neighboring countries, this competition quickly turned into a series of proxy wars, where instead of fighting each other directly, which would be catastrophic, they support opposing sides in other countries' conflicts. Let's look at some of the key battlegrounds. First, Yemen. This is perhaps the most direct and devastating proxy conflict. Saudi Arabia leads a military coalition backing the internationally recognized government. On the other side, Iran supports the Houthi rebels, a group from the Zaydi Shia minority. Iran has provided the Houthis with weapons, training, and financial support, allowing them to fight the much wealthier and better equipped Saudi coalition to a standstill. The result has been one of the world's worst humanitarian crises, with the Yemeni people caught in the middle. Then there's Syria. When the civil war erupted in 2011, it quickly became a proxy battlefield. Saudi Arabia, along with its Gulf allies and Western partners, backed various Sunni rebel groups trying to overthrow President Bashar al-Assad. Iran, on the other hand, went all in to save its crucial ally. Tehran provided Assad with billions of dollars, military advisors, and mobilized Shia militias from across the region, like Hezbollah from Lebanon and other groups from Iraq and Afghanistan, to fight on the front lines. Iran's support was instrumental in turning the tide of the war in Assad's favor. Lebanon is another classic example. Iran's most successful proxy is Hezbollah, the powerful Shia political party and militant group. Hezbollah is a major political force in Lebanon, often described as a state within a state. It's funded, trained, and armed by Iran, and it acts as a major projection of Iranian power, right on the border of Saudi Arabia's rival, Israel. Saudi Arabia, in turn, has historically supported Sunni and Christian political factions in Lebanon, like the Future Movement, led by the Hariri family, to try and counterbalance Hezbollah's influence. This has led to years of political gridlock and instability in the country. And we can't forget Iraq. After the US invasion in 2003 removed Saddam Hussein, a Sunni leader who was a major enemy of Iran, a power vacuum emerged. Both Iran and Saudi Arabia rushed to fill it. Iran cultivated deep ties with Iraq's new Shia-dominated government and various Shia militias. These militias were crucial in the fight against ISIS, but they also give Iran immense influence over Iraqi politics and security. Saudi Arabia, meanwhile, has tried to build relationships with Sunni leaders and tribes, but has often found itself on the back foot, struggling to compete with Iran's deep-rooted historical and religious connections to Iraq's Shia majority. Now, where does the United States fit into all of this? Historically, the U.S. has been a staunch ally of Saudi Arabia. This partnership has been based on a simple understanding. The U.S. provides military security and diplomatic support to the kingdom, and in return, Saudi Arabia ensures the stable flow of oil to global markets and acts as a key partner for U.S. interests in the region. This alliance has meant massive arms sales to Riyadh and a security umbrella that has protected the monarchy for decades. Conversely, U.S. policy towards Iran since 1979 has been almost uniformly hostile. The relationship was severed during the Iran hostage crisis and has been defined by sanctions, political pressure, and efforts to isolate Tehran. The U.S. sees Iran's nuclear ambitions, its support for groups like Hezbollah, and its anti-Israel stance as major threats to regional stability and American interests. This U.S. policy of maximum pressure has often aligned perfectly with Saudi Arabia's goal of containing Iranian influence. By backing Saudi Arabia and opposing Iran, the U.S. became a major player in this regional Cold War. However, things are constantly shifting. In recent years, we've seen attempts at In 2023, China, in a major diplomatic coup, brokered a deal to restore diplomatic ties between Iran and Saudi Arabia. Both countries seem to be realizing that their endless rivalry is incredibly costly and ultimately destabilizing for everyone. Saudi Arabia is trying to focus on its ambitious domestic economic reforms, known as Vision 2030, and it knows that regional wars are bad for business. Iran, struggling under crippling economic sanctions, may also see an advantage in reducing regional tensions. But does this mean the rivalry is over? Not at all. The fundamental drivers of the conflict, the sectarian divide, the geopolitical competition, and the deep-seated mistrust are still very much in place. The proxy wars in Yemen, Syria, and elsewhere haven't just disappeared. What we might be seeing is not the end of the competition, but a shift in tactics from open confrontation to more subtle forms of influence. The Saudi-Iran rivalry is a story with no simple heroes or villains. It's a complex struggle for power that has shaped the modern Middle East, fueling conflicts that have cost countless lives and destabilized an entire region. Understanding this dynamic is absolutely essential to making sense of the news coming out of the Middle East today. The fragile truce we're seeing now is a positive step, but the path to a lasting peace is long and uncertain. The future of the region may well depend on whether these two giants can find a way to coexist, or if they will continue their destructive dance for dominance. Thanks for watching. If you found this explanation helpful, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the events shaping our world. See you next time.